Alright guys, welcome back for part 2. I'm just finishing cleaning up here. Another thing I forgot to mention, because I'm not a very good teacher, is you want to clean off just a little bit here on your lower and your frame. Clean the contact points, kind of get in there in the nooks, crannies, anywhere you see debris. Clean off these rails. What I'll do a lot of times is I'll fold this in half and just kind of do one of those numbers. Get that in there. Do it over here. I'll go ahead and do it over here. So that's mainly it on the cleaning. If you want to be real anal about it, you can go ahead and just clean off inside of here. Clean off up in there. All that good stuff, but for me that's good enough for now. So okay, the FIREClean process. Now what this entails is you need to make sure all of your parts are degreased. You want to make sure everything is pretty much grease free. Now the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to use some alcohol, and ultimately I'm just going to start off with this patch, and I'm just going to go at it, degreasing, just pretty much on the inside. You don't really need to worry about the outside. That's not your concern right now. So go ahead and get the inside of this. Get it done really well, because the FIREClean needs a non-petroleum, a non-oiled area rather, to adhere to, because it's going to absorb into the metal. It's kind of like painting. If you're to paint, you don't want the parts to have oil on them, because the paint won't stick. So it's kind of the same thing, even though FIREClean is an oil. Like I said, you're not using a whole lot in the Glock, so I'm not too concerned about degreasing it like completely, as if I were Cerakoting or something. But oh, if you want some Cerakote work, we at Squared Away Surplus are going to start doing that. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming soon here. The main thing you want to worry about is degreasing the parts that you're going to ultimately re-lube. Okay. I'm happy with that. Go ahead, get some more on there. Go around your barrel. So mainly for this, you're going to want to make sure that this area right here in the barrel is degreased, and the whole barrel length here is degreased. So I'm happy with that. Now these other parts I'm really not going to worry about, because I'm not going to be dealing with them, but I will be dealing with this connector a little bit. This is the part that I may or may not lube, so we will see. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and get it cleaned up. Let that one dry. Now once again, if you had the MS Clean Kit, you can just put all your parts in the lid or the body of that, and you'd be great. Alright, I'm relatively certain that that's going to be degreased enough. So I'm going to go ahead and let this dry for a bit. Now the whole process of adding this FIREClean is on the pistol. You're just going to add it to the basic contact points. The basic contact points that you lube on a Glock are inside of the rails here. So one drop there, one drop there. You're gonna put one drop here, one drop there, and one drop there. And that's really it. Once it's put together, you can drop one drop down into the connector assembly. So ultimately, if you're looking at it, actually no, I was wrong. You put one drop in the rail, one drop in that rail, one drop down in there. Then you're going to put one drop here and coat it around the front, put one drop there, and then one drop down inside of here. So if you're looking at it, it's going to be 3, 2, 1. Slide, barrel, frame. 3, 2, 1. So that's a way to kind of remember it, I guess. Okay. So, good thing about like these polished parts is they don't get dirty, so you ain't gotta worry about it. Recoil spring also, you're not going to lube that at all. Keep that dry. It's fine. You can always just buy a new one if you want it clean. That's what I do. Actually, I've never replaced this, to be honest with you. So, after you have that, and after you're relatively certain that it's pretty degreased, I'm going to go ahead and take this through these rails again. To make sure it's dry. You can see it's relatively clean. Clean enough for Dave. I'm going to take a dry Q-tip and go down into here just to make sure that it is not wet. That's what she said. Doing that. This might be one of my longer, more boring videos, but you'll have that. So I'd say, look at this. So that's good. All right. Now, like I said, the FIREClean treatment is not going to be the same for a Glock as it is for an AR. So you need to remember that. But I'm going to pretty much show you using FIREClean in the spots that it needs lubed. So with your precision oiler, which is awesome, you take and put one drop there, one drop there, and then what I do is you can kind of tip it, let the oil run down if it's going to. Which it should. If not, you can take the little corner and kind of just move it down. Just kind of smooth it out. Just like that. And that's all I really do. Take it, kind of smooth it down there until you can see that there's a shininess in it. You can take this and kind of push it. And there you go. That's really all you need on that for the rails. And then you're going to take a drop down in there, smooth that across it. DMack did recommend putting some more and kind of making sure the muzzle area is coated. So there's a slide. Go ahead and put a drop there. Then you're going to work it around the front of that barrel. Thin coating. Wipe off any excess. And you're going to put a drop in there. Don't need much. Matter of fact, a lot of times I'll take a patch and kind of just dab it up a little bit. So there's that. Then the third drop will be once this is all reassembled. Now the reassembly is easy. Take your barrel, put it there, recoil spring in there. Now the tricky part kind of comes, hopefully you can see this during this portion where is my extractor? There it is. Take your extractor, which I do not lube, clean it up. You drop it in, just like that. Then go ahead, take this piece, go ahead and clean this up a little bit. You drop it back down into here, spring part last. Take this plunger, wipe this one off too. Then it drops right down into there, and then when you push it down, you'll hear it click, and that is what is holding your ejector here with your extractor there in place. Then you go ahead, you take your firing pin, slide that baby in there, take your back plate, push everything down. Actually, what I'll use is my Glock tool to set, push everything into place. So there's your slide. Once again, you're going to take your trigger. Now you want to put this, hold this like that, and have this so that it is shaped like an S. And that's how you put it on there. Just kind of, got to wiggle it, get it on there. And then you take this piece. Might not be able to see this, and then you just kind of hook it into there until it feeds into that hole. There we go, just like that. Then you take your connector, put it back in the way it came out. Actually, I'm going to dry this off a little bit just to verify. Like I said, you just push it in there until it hits the wall, and there you go. Put it back in. What I do is I hold it like that, then you just drop it in. Take your pin, click it there so it's secure. Then what you would do is put your locking block and dry it off. Put your locking block back in. You take this top pin, put it back in. I'll take my Glock tool kind of just to get it evened up there. Do that. Take your mag lock, or your slide lock, slide release, and what you're going to do is you need to trap this spring with below that top pin, okay? And then you need to look into that hole, line it up, put your pin in and kind of wiggle it until it finds the hole, and that will be trapped in there very well. So that's that. Now, the last drop of oil that you can do is right down into that connector area. I usually don't do this, but for the sake of the video, I'll go ahead and put a drop down in it. There's that. Take this. Now it's back together. All you gotta do, keep cycling it, and as you can see, the barrel's nice and lubed. Everything's good. And that's really it. That's really all the oil that you need on the Glock. So I'm gonna go ahead and move the camera and sum everything up here. Alright guys, so hopefully that explains everything a little better. I realized the cleaning portion was a little boring, and I realized I'm not really that great of a teacher for it. When I kind of do it, I just do it really quick and I do it my own way. So I didn't really rehearse this, so whenever I had the camera down and I started to clean it, I started to forget things. I'm trying to explain it, but like I said, whenever I clean my Glock, it's so easy for me that I just do it. And I can do it usually within 5 minutes, but like it seemed, I'm gonna have to make this a two-part video because it's gonna be very, very long. So I'm not gonna talk too much more. I just really wanted to sum up This wasn't really a FIREClean treatment like you would an AR, but I did add a little more in the muzzle area of the slide, and it is going to eventually absorb some of that FIREClean, so I might need to add a little bit more on later. That's why you always carry your kit with you, and then you just check. Basically, what you're going to want to do is to cycle it. You might want to take a rag and clean off the slide here, your shirt. That way, it's not going to be greasy, so when you go to grab it and rack it, your hand's not going to slide off of it. Go ahead and do that. Just make sure everything's nice and clean. And I can already tell the trigger. Usually when you add that little drop inside of that connector, it does make your trigger a little bit smoother. It does make it a little bit smoother, and the FIREClean seems to work better than the CLP as far as that. So just based off that, it seems to be working very well. Like I said, you don't want to clean off your trigger, all that, make sure everything's dried out. Now with an AR, you might want to soak the parts in like a degreaser and alcohol. DMack actually told me to buy like an industrial strength degreaser to degrease all the parts. So you really want them dry, as dry as you can. Like I said in the video, I try to not make it very long, so I kind of half-assed it, but you got the general idea. Moral of the story is FIREClean. It's not, what is it, 2 years old, 3 years old now, but it does do more than you think it does, and it is RangerProof approved. So make sure you stop by and get some FIREClean. I'm going to post all their links. I'm not going to try to remember them. I want to say the FIREClean website's Cleaner Gun, but I'm not sure. But that's it. The product is FIREClean, and go get yours today.